In a new school where cruelty hides behind fake smiles, a quiet black girl walks in, alone, but not afraid. What the bullies don't know is, she's trained to fight, but stronger in walking away, until they go too far. The doors of the high school creak open as the new black girl steps inside. Her chin is slightly raised, her steps firm, not arrogant, just alert. She surveys the hallway like someone trained to notice everything yet say nothing. Her uniform is neat, her afro puff tied back tightly. She doesn't smile, doesn't frown. She simply walks forward like she's been here before, even though it's her first day. The whispers start immediately. A cluster of students by the lockers nudge each other, eyes darting her way. Their voices are low but sharp, cutting. One mimics her walk, another mumbles something about her weird hair. She hears it all but keeps moving, her face unreadable. She passes a group of bullies leaning against the lockers. One of them snickers, another smirks. No words yet, just eyes full of challenge. She meets their gaze for half a second, then looks away. She turns into her first class, takes a seat in the back. Silence. A paper ball hits her arm from behind. She glances at it, then to the culprit. He smiles like it's a joke, like she should laugh too. She says nothing. The teacher glances up, notices the tension in the room, and then quickly looks back down. No one says anything. She just sits still, jaw slightly clenched, breathing slow. By lunch, the whole cafeteria feels like it knows her, even though no one's spoken to her. She picks an empty table in the corner. Tray down. Quiet bites. Across the room, the bullies grow louder. They're not talking to her, but about her, loud enough that everyone can hear. New girl thinks she's too good to talk, one says. Another mimics her walk again, making others laugh. The girl doesn't flinch, just keeps eating. Under the table, her hands rest on her knees. She closes her eyes for one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Another. Her fingers curl, then release. Each breath is controlled, practiced. It's not out of fear. It's something else. Something deeper. No one notices. No one understands. She's not holding back because she's scared. She's holding back because she's trained not to react. Not yet. Around her, the noise fades. The cafeteria grows distant. Just her breath, her focus, her calm. The storm hasn't started, but the air is shifting, and she's already centered. The gym smells of sweat and floor polish. Students stretch lazily across the mat while the coach scrolls on his phone. The new black girl moves with quiet precision, her legs folding and extending in fluid motion. As she leans forward into a deep stretch, a foot brushes her ankle. Then another. Suddenly, one of the bullies deliberately bumps her, knocking her balance. She catches herself silently. Behind her, laughter erupts. "Oops," someone says with a mocking shrug. "Didn't see you there." She doesn't respond. She returns to her stretch, eyes forward, jaw set. After gym, the locker room is loud with locker slams and shallow gossip. The air smells of deodorant and ego. She walks to her locker, only to find the bullies standing in front of it, arms crossed. "Sorry, this section's full," one says. They don't move. Another eyes her up and down, smirking. "You work out or just thick like that?" She doesn't reply. She waits. A third steps forward and pretends to karate kick near her face, stopping inches away. "Bet you can't even fight, all that attitude and nowhere to put it." In one smooth motion, she catches the foot, firm but without force. Her eyes meet the bullies. Calm, focused, no fear, no anger, just warning. The room freezes. Phones come out. The silence is louder than the taunts were. Then, just as smoothly, she releases the foot and turns away. She opens her locker without a word. The bullies exchange looks, unsure now. Something in her silence unnerves them. She walks out. The hallway buzzes with whispers. Moments later, the video spreads across group chats. Someone adds a caption. "She's scared." All bark. Laughing emojis follow. But she doesn't look at her phone that night. She doesn't care. Or maybe she does, but she knows better than to show it. At home, her room is dim, lit only by the moonlight through the blinds. She stands barefoot on the wooden floor, her breath steady. Her fists move through the air, controlled punches, sharp kicks, kata sequences practiced 100 times. Her face remains calm, but her muscles speak a different truth. She's not scared. She's not weak. She's waiting. Each move is silent, precise. There's power in the quiet. She doesn't need an audience. This discipline was never about impressing anyone. It was about control, about knowing when to hold back and when not to. The bell rings, and students scatter like leaves in the wind. The new black girl walks alone, earbuds in, backpack slung over one shoulder. She cuts through the back lot near the dumpsters. Quieter, quicker. But they're already waiting. 3 of them, maybe 4. Bullies in hoodies and smirks, standing in a loose half circle. "Thought you'd sneak out the back," one sneers. She pulls out her earbuds, eyes steady. "We just want to talk," another says, but his tone drips with threat. She doesn't move, doesn't speak. Her backpack is yanked off her shoulder and flung to the ground. "Say something," a voice snaps. "You deaf or just too good for us?" She bends to pick up her bag, calm as ever, but a hand shoves her shoulder. She stumbles slightly, rights herself. "Stop," she says, clear, low, final. They laugh. One spits, and it lands near her foot. "Or what?" he taunts, stepping closer. Another raises his hand like it's a joke, slow, theatrical, fingers curled. "Gonna cry?" He grins. The hand swings down toward her face, but it never lands. In a single fluid motion, she sidesteps, grabs the wrist midair, and twists, just enough to force the boy off balance. His knees buckle, and she guides him to the ground without pause. Another lunges forward, arms wide, but she spins under and behind him, hooking her foot and sending him down in one smooth arc. No impact, no fury, just precision. The others freeze for a second, not sure if this is real. One swings a fist, fast and clumsy. She ducks, redirects, catches his forearm, and flips him over her hip. He lands on his back with a thud, but not hurt. She stays crouched, ready, but doesn't advance. She breathes through her nose, slow and grounded. Her hands are open, not fists. Her eyes are warning, not rage. Phones are out now. Kids who followed the noise record from the fence, wide-eyed, silent. No one steps in, no one laughs. The bullies crawl back, winded and shaken, the fear on their faces raw and real. She doesn't say a word. She picks up her bag, slings it back on, and walks away like nothing happened. Later, the footage spreads. This time, the caption reads, "Karate Queen." No laughing emojis, just stunned silence in the comment sections. The girl who said nothing just said everything. Not with words, not with fury, but with control no one saw coming. The next morning, she's called to the principal's office. The secretary doesn't meet her eyes. The hallway feels heavier than usual. Inside, the principal sits behind his desk, arms crossed, phone in hand. "There's a video," he starts. His tone is clipped, rehearsed. "You were involved in an altercation." She sits quietly, hands in her lap. He plays the clip, flashes of her movements behind the school, the takedowns, the precision. "This is serious," he says, watching her for guilt, for fear. But she's calm, exactly like she was in the video. "I didn't fight," she says softly. "I defended myself." The room is still. He blinks, sets the phone down. We've spoken with others, watched all the clips. It's clear you didn't escalate it. A pause. You showed restraint, more than most adults would. He exhales, tone softening. They're suspended. You're not in trouble. Word spreads quickly. The cafeteria is quieter than usual. Heads turn when she walks in. No whispers this time. No mocking laughs. She doesn't look left or right, doesn't search for validation. She moves with the same calm presence. A few students shuffle over, making space at their table. She pauses, then takes a seat. No big moment, no victory pose. She just opens her lunch and eats, same as before. Her power isn't in the attention. It's in the peace she carries with her. The bullies aren't there. Their absence echoes louder than their taunts ever did. And still, she doesn't speak about it. She doesn't relive it or retell it. The story's already out there, but she has no need to own it out loud. Respect isn't something she chased. It followed her when she stopped caring about proving anything. That evening, she's back at the dojo. The world outside fades away. The floor beneath her feet feels familiar, grounding. She bows at the waist, eyes down, then lifts her gaze to meet her sensei's. He nods once. She steps onto the mat and begins her form, kicks sharp, movements fluid. No tension, no pride, just presence. Each breath flows like water, each motion practiced, earned. In this space, there are no phones, no labels, no bullies, just discipline, respect, and the quiet strength that has always been hers. The lesson was never about fighting. It was about knowing who you are when the world pushes. And now the world knows too.